If we're running this office right, it won't be on the front pages of the Washington Post or the New York Times every other week leading up to an election or after.
John Barrow telling supporters in Savannah it should be obvious by now that the Secretary of State holds a lot of power.
Because that office is the office that is held by the person whose job it is to make sure that our elections are fair.
But he says if a voter's registration is questioned or their name is purged from the rolls, then the process isn't fair to those people.
There is a huge problem with our voting purging programs, which do a better job of kicking people off the rolls in error than it does of kicking people off the rolls accurately.
He says a lot of voters have been purged because of inaccurate information, and the voter doesn't even realize it, often getting only a postcard in the mail.
It ought to be harder to get kicked off the rolls if you're an honest citizen who's registered to vote and has voted for years than it is to have your water turned off.
He also says the controversial exact match program, which this year put 53,000 voters on the pending list, can be enforced with more common sense.
IDs that are right, and we had Secretary of State's records that were uploaded manually and they were wrong. And yet somehow that's the voter's fault. It's not the voter's fault, it's the state of Georgia's fault. And I think we've gotten a lesson also in all the various ways in which the person who runs this office can affect the conduct of the election both before and on Election Day. When I'm Secretary of State, it's going to be my policy to do everything possible to make it as easy for every Georgia citizen to vote as it is for any Georgia citizen to vote. That's what fairness means to me.